Welcome back to AutoCAD Layers Tips and Tricks. And since we had defined the specific names of layers that you want to assign the parts of our plan to, let me just close this now, since we have them in place or in the list. Now we are back to our plan, and now we want to select the parts that we need to assign to those descriptions that we had previously done on part 1. Now I'm going to highlight all the grid lines here. Let me just select the grid lines here and assign them to a particular description of grid line that we had added on the list of layers properties. Now I've selected everything here. You can see the grid lines have been selected. So I want to add them to layers properties list there. So I'll just right click here and come to properties here. So on this dialog box here under general here, I'll come to layer. So you can see as it is now, the default layer is 0. And I want to assign this to a particular layer that we had added on this list. So I'll just click on this and click on this drop down arrow here and scroll to the grid line layer that we had added here. So let me just press and hold so that we reach there very fast. So we have the grid line that we had added here. So if I select on that and come here and save that, or press Control Save, I'll just save that. So if I close here and try and highlight everything here, so you can see if I highlight, you'll be able to see it is grid line highlighted here. So let me just go ahead and try to work, try to customize it more under layers properties. So if I click on layers properties here and come to grid line, let me just bring it close so that you see what I'm trying to show you or what I'm trying to explain. So I have my grid line here, and since we've assigned it to this list or to this particular name, so if I come here and select on that and I want to freeze or get rid or just to hide the grid lines, I'll come here and maybe freeze that or hide that. You can see our layer is active. So if I come here and click on that bulb once again, we'll make it appear. So let me just mouse there so that you can see the information there. You can turn it on and off. You can turn our layer on or off by clicking on that button. So we can also freeze it so that you cannot select it, but that will move step by step so that you see on how you can manipulate or work with all the layers once you've assigned everything. So let me just close that. So I go ahead and assign another part of this particular plan to the name of the layers that we've just added on the list. So let me just add the windows there. So to add the windows there, I'll select the windows here. Let me just select everything there. Let me just come here and select the window there and select this one here. So you can see we've selected all the windows. So we want to assign this to that particular grid name, layer name that we've just added on the layer properties list. So I'll right click and select properties here. So I'll come under layers here and click on that and click under layers and click on this drop down arrow here and scroll down and look for the word window that we had previously indicated on this list. So I'll select on that and you can see that we have that in place. So once you've selected that word layer, after selecting the parts that you want to add to that particular name, just go ahead and click save. So the moment you save that and come back and close that and try to mouse over that, you'll be able to see it is highlighted as Windows layer. So that's how you redefine the layers here. So let's go back to now pick on the columns. So if I select on the columns here and select on the columns there, let me just select on the columns. The reason why everything is getting selected because of the hatching just were grouped together. So let me just select the columns first prior to selecting the hatches. So let me assign the columns now. Select all the columns here. Select all the columns. I hope I'm picking all the columns here. I'll select that column and let's not leave anything behind that will go to a different category of layer. So I think we've selected everything. There's another column remaining here. So let me just select the hatches. The hatch is there, and we have the let's select the hatches here. So let me add that. So everything must be assigned to the right name in the list of the layer properties. So we have this in place and everything has been selected. So how do you add this in place? So I'm not sure that the column is selected. Let me just add that to place. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to right click here. So once I've right clicked here, I'm going to assign the columns to that particular description of columns under layers property list. So if I click on that and scroll down till I reach the columns. So if I click there, I'll be able to assign that. I'll be able to assign the columns to this particular name under columns, under column layer in layers properties list. So once I've done so, I'll go ahead and click save. So if I close that and try and come here and mouse over this, you'll be able to see I have layers in place. I have columns as layers. So this is what I was talking about. So that's how you assign everything to or add to layers list. So we'll go step by step by redefining all the layers on in this particular plan, and let's meet on the next part of AutoCAD layers tips and tricks, and let's meet then.